been walking in my purpose, baby. Just getting started, I ain't even scratched the surface, baby. Yeah, you ain't gotta like it long as God love it. I came a long way from me being outside thugging. Yeah, and all my haters, I just pray for them. They can't match my energy. I think they mad cause they...
So, there is somebody with a private account in this room? Because I see you on the counter, but I don't see you in the box. And Are You On Code just went live. So, unless it's live ended, he's in here. Good morning, Vicky. How have you been? Are you busy? Are you just passing through? Are you still in the room? So I guess I'll talk. I see you on the counter. Can you tap the screen for me? Thank you. So, everybody's busy. New York's getting ready for a blizzard. And then one person I spoke to was going out. And he had a good time one night and he was going out again. Simon is in rare form. He was on a panel going up with Whoopi against the Haitian guy. They always trying to rewrite our history instead of, making some more history for themselves so they could stop complaining about that one day they get instead of a month. But they should just celebrate with the rest of the Caribbean. There goes Basic. Good morning.
Good morning. What's going on?
Nothing much. I said, let me go live early today and then I'll get some rest. So I'll be back on these panels, I guess, in the afternoon. Thank you for the likes. So I noticed these past 2 days, I had a brilliant idea, right? So Brother Dread, right? If he comes through, he might be asleep. He was telling me, you should be a professor. And he literally would go to Indeed and pull professor jobs, right? I'm like, I don't have the qualification. And he looked at the qualifications and he goes, you got the qualification. So I noticed YouTube has a slot where you can put your videos as a course. So for the lives, because I had to do a whole 30-minute monologue yesterday and nobody showed up, but I get it. It was the weekend. And if you didn't show up and Buki came through the room and so did Are You On Code, but they didn't come up. And if I have to monologue, I'm a monologue about Black history and put it as a course. We keep saying we have to make our own courses, right? We have to teach our own history. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think it's a lot of Black American history that isn't known when it comes to a lot of our people. Like, I've learned a whole lot off of social media. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that's not taught in schools. As far as college goes, I know a lot of people say they learn a lot at the HBCUs. I didn't go to a HBCU. I wish I did. So, yeah, I think we definitely need more people that's teaching Black American history in particular. I see a lot of Pan-Africans who are devoted to teaching African history, but don't teach Black American history, which is crazy to me.
Exactly. Good morning, Kiki Lolo. So that just popped in my head. then try to be happy, and I'll be happy too. Because then I'm doing something, productive for the lineage. And so yeah, thank you. And so I have a gift goal and a heart meet. Thank you for completing the heart meet, and everybody else who's in the room, because there's a private account in here. I'm like, are you spying? You're not tapping the screen or anything. Um, so to everybody entering the room, I do have my BX Black History Spotlight. It's based off of David Ruggles. He was born in Connecticut and Black American, and he was trailblazing in like abolition, the Underground Railroad, and his service was in New York City, even though he was born in New York. And he was a journalist. And he was such a great abolitionist, they named it in the comments or in the back. Let me see. Okay. Practical abolitionism, right? I do have some topics here, but I'm going to go to the computer so that way I get it right and don't be up here saying, I don't think professors should be saying all of that, huh, Basis?
Yeah, I mean, well, you just shooting from the hip anyway.
Yeah. So, and this is off of a Google AI search, and it says David Ruggles might have been the most hated activist of his day. One slave catcher screamed that he would give $1,000. He said he would give $1,000 if I had Ruggles in my hands, as he is the leader. And Ruggles was just that, a leader against slavery. He came to New York around 1827 from Connecticut, where he was born free. When he arrived, he was 17 years old and fearless, determined and educated. The year 1827 was a time of parade celebrating the end of slavery in New York. More and more runaways were arriving from the South every day. But right behind them were the slave catchers called blackbirders. I do mention blackbirding every now and then. They roamed the streets looking to reclaim some of the runaways and even to kidnap free blacks. If you know Sister Keisha from Thorough Black Talk Worldview, she's always in the chats and stuff, and I call her up on the panels because she knows a lot about New York history. And she speaks in the reparations hearing. So if you see her videos, then you'll notice sometimes she'll say she has a direct harm from the kidnapping clubs that was here in New York. Yeah. So we do have descendants of the ancestors who descend from the blackbirding era and the kidnapping era. And then it says, no black person was safe. Ruggles saw how dangerous the city was and decided to do something about it. And then it goes on to say in 1835, good morning, Nicole, I see you. Thank you for the like. Please complete your daily heart meets. I'm trying to get up in the rankings, right? So I don't have a public page, but I wanted to go in the algorithm so more of my followers and friends could come in here. So in 1835, he and several other young black activists founded the New York Committee of Vigilance. Ruggles and the rest of the committee protected runaways and confronted the slave catchers. He made the city government grant jury trials to slaves who were recaptured, and he obtained lawyers for them. He personally helped as many as 600 fugitives, including the now famous Frederick Douglass. He also ran an anti-slavery bookstore until it was destroyed by a mob. In addition, he wrote hundreds of articles. He bought a printing press and published his own pamphlets in a magazine called Mirror of Liberty. It was the first periodical published by a black American, but after 20 years of activism, Ruggles was nearly blind and seriously ill. Many, including Frederick Douglass, came to his aid. Ruggles transitioned in Massachusetts in 1849. And then it says, this entry contributed by Curriculum Concepts International. Wow, that was deep. I didn't know it was such a gem like that. I just pulled it up, skimmed it and stuff, but, amazing. I love that history. Well, for the time. To see that we have such great activism, abolitionism, they coined it, right? Why would they call it practical abolitionism? We got to come up with a better term, y'all.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak on that, or do you want to go? I also, if you notice in my prompt, I have one of the earliest trains from New York City, and this is another Black History gem. So, do you want to contribute to David Ruggles first?
Yeah, so I've never heard of him either. So I would actually want to do some reading and see like how did he pass?
They say he was blind and seriously ill. He probably wasn't taking care of his health. It didn't say anything about foul play.
Hmm.
But if you research and you find something, because you know, though, when they say that, you know, some of us transitioned a certain way, and you know they were like heavy hitters, I'm going to say, you got to kind of question it. Who was taking care of him? Who was he around? You know, but I don't want to start no conspiracies, but if you find one, let me know. And then I say
Yeah.
I'm not a
'Cause it
conspiracy
looked like he
theorist.
passed when he was what 38, 39 years old. That's that's crazy.
Yeah, after 20 years of activism. And that time was rough because New York emancipated their enslaved in 1827. And instead of celebrating on July 4th, the ancestors would celebrate on July 5th, and they would have their parade. So it's mentioned there in that, right? But it always reminds me of this period. And so she doesn't consider our ancestors in New York emancipation to be the technical date because what they did was gradual manumission. And what that was say in 1799, they freed a certain amount of enslaved, but they kept others enslaved until they were a certain age, right? And then those enslaved were granted their emancipation. But then there were ones who were born, but they had to be indentured servants up until a certain age. So technically, if you want to be technical, they weren't enslaved, but they did have to work some stuff for. Like, let me get the date. Let me pull it up so we can get the right thing, right? Can't have that. And they did that in Jersey too. And I think in Philly. Okay, so it says gradual manumission refers to legal frameworks adopted primarily in northern U.S. states after the American Revolution, designed to phase out slavery over time rather than abolishing it immediately. Key details of gradual manumission laws targeted future generations. Then it says laws typically stated that children born to enslaved mothers after a specific date, for example, July 4th, 1799 in New York, March 1st, 1780 in Pennsylvania, were born free. And this is why Wolfie reminded me that Pennsylvania had the first free state, I believe, in the North. Because I always said it was New York. And then it's indentured servitude structure. I mentioned that. Despite being free, these children were required, and they have free in quotes. These children were required to serve their mothers and slavery as indentured servants for an extended period, often until age 25 for females and 28 for males. Delayed freedom. This structure meant that slavery continued in practice for decades, as the final generation born into bondage would not be freed until they reached the age of adulthood. No immediate change for adults. The legislation did not immediately free individuals who were already enslaved at the time the act was passed. Property protection. By postponing freedom, the laws protected the financial interests of enslavers, allowing them to continue profiting from the labor of the enslaved person's children. And then it says state specific Why couldn't I talk this morning? Examples. Pennsylvania, 1780, first state to pass such an act. Children born after this date were freed upon reaching adulthood. New York, 1799/1817. Initially, free children born after July 4, 1799 at age 25, females age 28, males. An 1870 amendment established final abolition on July 4, 1827. Connecticut, 1784, stipulated freedom at age 21 for women and 25 for men. And then it says circumvention. Some enslavers circumvented these laws by selling pregnant enslaved women to slaveholders in states without gradual manumission laws. Social impact. While slow, these acts led to a gradual increase in free black populations in the North and spurred the rise of abolitionist sentiments. That was the end of that basic.
My bad. I'm sitting here with my daughter. Hold on.
Aw. Is she sick? She's not sick, right? She just want to be on you?
No, she just jumped in my bed.
Aw. Daddy's girl. You want me to go on to the train history? Because we have another great Black American figure, instrumental in the early railway system in New York.
Now you said I heard you say was Pennsylvania was the first free state up north.
Right, they had a free population. They started their gradual manumission process in 1780, and New York started theirs in 1790. No.
Okay.
Yeah, but we did have in New York. I do know we had the 1712 slave rebellion, or they called it a slave revolt. Then we had the 1741 New York's conspiracy. That was based off of slave rebellion. That's what they named it. The white people started getting scared. I don't know what the ancestors was doing, but they started thinking that they were going to act up, and so some violence occurred then.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. This is 1741. Number. Let's go to the Historical Society, New York Court. It says, trials relating to the New York slave insurrection, 1741. In 1741, New York had a population of around 10,000 people, some 2,000 of whom were slaves. In a winter of harsh weather, food shortages, and difficult economic times, worries about attacks on the province by the Catholic countries of France and Spain abounded. Reports of slave revolts in other colonies added to the tension. On March 8, 1741, a fire broke out at Fort George, the official residence of the province's governor, and the building burned to the ground. 9 more serious fires occurred in the weeks that followed, and the population of the city was in a state of panic. Supreme Court of Judicature Justice Daniel Horsmanden was charged with leading an inquiry into the origins of the fires. The court convened in City Hall on April 21, 1741, and a grand jury was impaneled for the investigation. One of the witnesses to be examined was a young servant named Mary Burton. She was indentured to John Hewson, who ran a bar frequented by slaves and sailors in the vicinity of Trinity Church. Initially, Mary was reluctant to testify, but when she was threatened with confinement in the jail in the City Hall, she gave evidence about a robbery that had occurred in February of that year at a small shop owned by Mrs. Hogg in Broad Street. I don't know if it's the Historical Society. I feel a setup coming on. The robbery was instigated by a sailor named Wilson, but was carried out by three slaves, Caesar, Prince, and Cuffy, and it's spelled Cuffwe, whom Wilson had met at John Houston's bar. She also testified against Houston, who was suspected of receiving stolen property. Following further threats from Justice Hoisman and inducements that promised an end to her indenture and financial award, Mary Burton began to testify to a plot that up to then she had never mentioned. She told of a plan by a group of people to burn the city and unalive its inhabitants. Those she named included the three slaves against whom she had testified on the charge of stealing, and John Houston and his wife. Based on her testimony, the slaves named Caesar and Prince were charged with the February burglary, but not with the alleged plot. Found guilty and sentenced to unaliving, the following day a fire resulted in the destruction of several barns, and two slaves caught in the vicinity were immediately burned at the stake. On May 11th, the trials of the others accused by Mary Burton of involvement in the plot commenced. The judges of the court were James Delancey, Daniel Hoisman, and Frederick Phillips. Ever escalating rounds of arrests, naming of others as conspirators, further arrests and further accusations began. By the time it ended, some 200 people had been tried in the Supreme Court of Judicature. Although many appeared for the prosecution, none of the lawyers in New York were willing to represent those accused in the plot, whether slave or whitey. Based upon questionable testimony, 30 people were sentenced to unaliving and 70 others to slavery in the Caribbean. Among those executed were John Houston, his wife Sarah, and his daughter, also called Sarah. John Hoisman then, as indicated above, served as both principal investigator and the judge of the court that heard the case. With his professional reputation at stake, he published a journal describing the proceedings, which historian Jill Lepore described as one of the most startling and vexing documents in early American history. Historian William Bryant and Sidney G.A.Y. I hear an echo in my house, like it's like, condemned the entire proceeding, stating that its disregard of all rules of legal evidence for its says prostitution. I don't want to say the word because they're going to think I'm saying the other way. Of the forms of law for the perpetration of cruelty for popular credulity and cowardice, for the abnegation of all sense of mercy, for the oppression of the weakest and most defenseless. It was without precedent and has had no parallel in any civilized community. So it don't seem like they were fighting back. Did you hear them fighting back?
Nope. And then it just called them defenseless, right? So they weren't fighting back.
Well, let me check it. Yeah, and this is the history.newyorkcourts.gov case. That's the website. Let me see. And then it says, what was the conspiracy of 1741? It says, in the spring, this is Wikipedia. Yeah, they're not listing it as fighting back. Let me ask, was there? Sometimes you gotta ask them. They say the 1741 New York slave conspiracy involved alleged rather than proven widespread violent rebellion. While historians debate the extent of the plot, evidence suggests enslaved people engaged in acts of defiance, including a series of suspicious fires. The perceived or actual plot resulted in the, execution of 34 people, primarily by burning and hanging. Who knows if they were resistant that way, you know? They were crafty, they came up with stuff, no matter where they were in the nation. What you think?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure there was some violence, to be honest with you. I think just think some of our people just always had a spirit of, you know, getting down to business. Some of us chose to do it other ways. And I think you know, they probably didn't report too much on the ones who were doing things to them. I think the way that they reported is they want to make it seem like we was always, you know, just getting ran over out, and I don't think that's true.
Yeah. I don't think so either. So I'll go to the train. I hear the baby in the back. You can stay on mute for a minute if you want. Well, of course, you got to, right? Duh. Good morning, Deoda. So, my Google search term was, were there any Black Americans instrumental in the formation of the first ever New York City trains? I want to see this other part of the question. And what years? So it says, yes, Black Americans were instrumental in the formation of New York City's transit, most notably inventor Granville T. Woods, who developed the third rail system and key electric railway technologies between the 1880s and 1901. Additionally, Black Americans were among the laborers who constructed the first subway line in 1904. Then it goes on to list key contributions. Damn. Granville T. Woods, he was called Black Edison, patented over 60 items, including the third rail, power pickup patented 1901, and the induction telegraph system 1887 that allowed moving trains to communicate, preventing collisions. Laborers, 1900s through 1910s. The word. Black Americans were part of the crew that built the first subway line, opened in 1904, and continued to work on tunnel construction in the following decade. Desegregation, 1850s. While not involved in building the physical tracks, Elizabeth Jennings Graham, and remember, I just talked about her the other day, Elizabeth Jennings Graham was instrumental in desegregating New York City streetcars in 1855, establishing the right for Black Americans to use transit. Other rail pioneers. These might be white people. I don't know if it's really white people. They have the names. I'm going to just put them there. Andrew Jackson Beard patented an automatic coupler, well, the fact that it's that other. And 1897, increasing safety. Elijah McCoy, that name sounds familiar, developed lubricating cups for steam engines, improving efficiency. The first Black subway conductor was hired in 1935. Let me see these people.
I think the saying, the real McCoy. You ever heard that statement before?
Yeah.
I think it come from Elijah McCoy. I can't remember exactly why that statement came about, but I think it came about because of him for some reason.
Okay, like that. So when I do the deep dive, they mentioned Granville T. Woods, Elizabeth Jennings, Andrew Jackson Beard, and they're not mentioning Elijah. So my next question is, no. Oh yeah, they are. You should see the pictures. So Andrew Jackson Beard, he patented the Jenny coupler, In 1897, before this invention, rail workers had to manually place a pin between moving cars to join them, often resulting in lost limbs or unaliving. His automatic coupler allowed cars to lock together on contact, drastically improving safety for the workers building and operating early rail lines. Um, and then Elijah McCoy. He patented the automatic lubricator for steam engines in 1872. Before his lubricating cup, trains had to stop frequently to have their moving parts oiled by hand. His invention allowed engines to be lubricated while in motion, making long-distance rail travel in early New York City transit significantly more efficient and reliable. Oh, that's pretty dope, right?
Absolutely. I didn't know that people was losing their arms and stuff.
Mm-mm. Me either. Yeah. And I love looking at pictures of the ancestors. They be looking all nice, humble, sharp. Some, well, many of them look fierce, right? Like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
I love it. I did have some topics, wisdom of elders, dirty Black American, African boomer, African boomer girl update, meaning the one who said that she wanted to, strap a boom to her back. Wisdom of the elders. Do you have any sayings, gems, knowledge that you would like to share with us that your elders imparted upon you? Good morning to Black Americans House.
Yeah. So my maternal grandmother, I remember one thing she always told me is she said, "You better not never bring no white woman home." And that's something I live by. I never deal with no white woman. Um, and my paternal grandmother always told me, "Don't let nobody treat you like you ain't shit." So that's what my grandmothers told me. I didn't know. I didn't personally know my grandfathers. I talked to my mother's father like a couple times as an adult before he passed away. But I never met my father's father. So
Gotcha. Beautiful advice, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have any thoughts are your grannies still living?
no. They're now both deceased. One passed away in 2004, and the other passed away in 2015.
Okay. I asked that question, right? May they forever rest with their ancestors in power, right? Divine honors to them. Because I'm asking everyone who still has their elders, meaning the grandparents, or even if your parents are up in age, to video record them. Like, when we see pictures from the old days of our family, but I mean, sit down, talk to them about the times that they lived through, especially if they lived through civil rights, what it was like for them in their specific area, so we can have their words, which is our history, told by those who experienced them. How does that sound?
Yeah, I think everybody should do that, especially now. You know what I'm saying? I think I've been seeing some people do it. Starting to get the words of their elders recorded and asking them questions that a lot of people don't think to ask their elders. So I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. One thing that is like troublesome to me is when you take a still picture of our deceased loved one. Good morning, make it make sense and make it move. I don't know what it's called, but you know what I'm saying?
You said when you get to say it again?
When you get you know how they have the regular pictures, regular photos. There's no moving. Thank you for the gift. There's no moving. Thank you for the gifts to American House and make it make sense. There's no movement. It's like a posed photo, right? Regular photo. But then all of a sudden, it starts moving and it's animated and the
Oh,
ancestors
you talking about
doing
the AI?
something.
You talking about the AI?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been seeing that too.
And how do you feel about that? You like that?
I mean, I like it. But I'm weary of AI personally. So when it comes to certain stuff, I just be like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of conditioning us for something that's going to be going on in the future.
Right. Okay. How do you feel about dirty Black American?
I mean, so when that whole thing happened, of course, I feel like the girl that said it was I think she did exactly what she set out to do, which is, she has some type of beef with Black Americans, and she hopped on a platform and disrespected Black Americans. And the sad part about it is the dudes who are over that platform, they still platformed her as far as I can tell. Like, she was still there. They didn't even kick her off. Like, if that was my set, she would have been gone as soon as she said that. I don't really need an explanation, and then to flip it and try to like talk about she had bad experiences with Black Americans. That's literally everybody's story all of a sudden. Like, all of a sudden everybody got bad experiences with Black Americans. So hey, I say this: everybody got their own experience, and it's cool. But I'm gonna ride for my people every single time, and I think a lot of these people are lying. I don't think that they have as many negative experiences as they claim. And the Haitians in particular, I noticed that they talk about how they used to get bullied, especially in Florida. But I noticed that they never tell the backstory behind what actually happened that caused them to start getting their ass kicked. So, and I'm actually right now in a semi debate with a Haitian on my Facebook page, because we've been Facebook friends for years, and we're speaking on that situation. And it's funny because when it's their people, they kind of always defend their people, even when it's something that's disrespectful like this. They find a way to like validate and defend their people, which is why, even though I don't be agreeing with everything some of our people be saying, I don't feel the need to check them. You know what I'm saying? If y'all piss my people off enough for them to say some of the stuff they saying, then it is what it is.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it too. Good morning, Mr. Ether. And so, you don't have an update on the African boom boom girl, right? The one who wanted to strap the boom to her back. Basic? No? Basic has his baby girl with him, so.
She can go to hell for all I care. That girl.
Oh, my bad.
Hey,
I thought you.
hey, BX.
I thought you were talking to somebody else. You were talking to me?
Oh, yeah. You don't have an update on the African boom girl, right? No.
No, the last thing I saw was they like somebody had posted like a phone recording of them reporting everything to her school and stuff. I don't know anything beyond that. No.
Thank you. Hi, make it make sense.
Hey,
How are you?
Hey, BX, how you doing? What is that? What is that background noise?
Oh, the app actually has an effect, and one of the effects is music. So I usually put jazz on, and every now and then it picks up a different tempo to me.
You about to
I
get?
just figure it's different.
You about to start me getting up to do the river dance? Hell.
It's supposed to be jazz.
I was gonna say, hi everybody on the stage, grand rising to everybody. I was just gonna say about that lady that made that comment on that podcast, and the guy. I got beef with those guys on that podcast. I feel like this. They are doing another form of Pan-Africanism. I don't care what you say. That is some Pan-African stuff off of money. And for you to keep letting, and they keep saying this young man is, he's Black American, they letting him slide. No, that's no more decorum when you have more immigrant background people in your platform than you. That's a money thing. Either he has a relationship with these people outside his own ethnic group, and he might even be married or dating one of them. I don't know, but to the point now, you just making money off of your disrespect of your lineage. I don't find that funny. It's not cool anymore. And you sitting up here on the platform, and our kids see this, they thinking this is okay with this crap that's going on. And I don't find it funny anymore. Those guys need to be held accountable too for letting that stuff go on, because they don't stop that. And they talking about they want us to get along. They want us all to get along. But you steady letting somebody spew this crap out. No, I'm tired of that. You can't keep making money and harming us, making money off our harms. You can't keep doing that when we need to call people out like that. And I was just going to say that. And secondly, I just left a Haitian platform. Lord have mercy. They talking about the same topic we're talking about right now. And Lord have mercy. They coming up with all the excuses between Florida and New York. They're talking about Florida. They don't deal with that. They don't deal with all that. I mean, in New York, they don't deal with all that. But Florida, it's a different thing. They trying to make it regional. It's all that tribalism stuff. But what pisses me off is that they talk about what happened to them in high school, and them being bullied. Now they sit up here acting like in your whole country, y'all don't have bullying. Why are y'all talking like that? That's crazy to me. They act like their kids in their own home country don't go through bullying.
Is the live still going? Because Simon wants to go over there. I was trying to invite him up here, but he's in rare form this morning. He wants to debate.
It's mad crazy. I gotta go find that name again. It's something something in there. It's a whole bunch of Haitians in there.
Black delegation.
It's a whole bunch of Haitians in there right now talking about it. Some of them saying they were raised like this. Some of them say they wasn't raised like that. They're saying that their parents taught them that stuff. But what pisses me off the most, they act like they come over here and they commit crimes and it don't get dumped on our flat blackness. They get to walk away with this clean, straight slate saying they're hardworking people. They bring crime over here. They don't talk about that stuff. They don't talk about none of the degenerate stuff that they bring over here too. And they act like they the only people that's working hard. Some of them on there is pushing back, some of them not. So it just agitates me real bad. But that platform yesterday, a few days ago, that's some bull crap. That's Pan-African stuff, and they're trying to make money off our plate. It's another form of red pill shit. And I'll land my plane.
Hey, make it make sense. What's up,
Ether?
BX? What's up, y'all? What's up, Basic Simon? I see this person here, the Black American.
Good morning.
Yeah, at this point, they got to prove they were ever bullied. I don't believe them. I don't believe they were ever bullied for being Haitian. Okay.
You know what, Mr. Eva? In Florida, and I believe even in New York, it came out that the Jamaicans were over there bullying them. I'm going to say two. You know what I'm saying? And they were probably the primary ones over there doing it.
Yeah, that's what came out with me too. It was other islanders though.
Well, let Mr. Ether land.
My bad. Go ahead, brother.
It's all good, man. Yeah, because here's the thing, they ain't talking about them. So, if you're willing to cover up for other Caribbeans, then that means you weren't bullied to begin with. Whatever happened to y'all was consensual in my book. Okay, y'all gonna have to prove it. I spoke to a non-FBA woman. She was, I believe she was Caribbean, but she didn't want to tell me where she was from. Wanted to hide her background. And there was, we was being called booty scratcher. I've been called booty scratcher all my life. It happens all the time. I'm like, all right, show me a video of it. What? Why would I do that? Show a video. I'm like, yeah, go back to like 2015 or 2016 and show me a time where Black Americans were calling you names like this, and show me any proof of it anywhere at all. Why would I have that? Why would I have that? Yeah, because it doesn't exist. If all these Black Americans have been doing this, and all of y'all have experienced it, because I really haven't heard of one person who had said they haven't experienced it, right? Okay, then y'all should have some proof of it somewhere. Black Americans, we can pull out videos of us being called a Bruni, a Kata, the N-word, Jareer. We can pull out proof and records of these things happening to us. Y'all can't pull out one video of this happening to y'all at all. So this is why I'm like, y'all just lying. If y'all don't have proof, then it didn't happen. And that's the type of time I'm on right now.
Either you know they're lying, because that's the only trope they say we say about them. And we are known for roasting, ragging on folks. We can go, and you think that's the only thing we're gonna use to put you in your place? That's stupid. I know they lying. That
we're way more creative than for all of us just to use the same thing. They're projecting onto us because they all share the same words with each other. All of the Caribbean, they use the same slur, yank. Okay, and all of Africa pretty much uses the same word, akata. They share the same thing, even though some of those places have words for us. They're not creative at all. Yes, they end up sharing the same words all over the place. So you're right. Words that they used on other people, a century ago, they just extended it to us over here. So we know that they're lying, but Black Americans, we're not like that at all. We're way too unconventional, okay, for us to sit up here and all of us using the exact same term. I mean, we would have got bored with it by then, We're not even calling them booty scratcher right now, So, I mean, yes, we know these people are lying, okay? And as far as that podcast, those dudes up there, the only reason that one female thought it was okay because she saw the first group of females got away with it. They saw that African dude who talked shit on us, he got away with it. So basically, yes, their platform is a de facto FBA disrespect platform. And people need to, people are taking it as if they don't know no better. Some people was talking to Tari like, man, we need to get some of us on that platform and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to let us on that platform. There's too many non-FBAs on there. Too much off-code behavior happening over there. The dude, the main guy who's supposed to be a Black American, he doesn't have a spine. All right, he doesn't care to really stand up for himself. He doesn't say anything like he mean it. He doesn't defend Black Americans with conviction or anything like that. It's become basically a doormat. And this is what happens, man. It really shows number one, it shows what happens when you allow people to abuse you the first time. They're just going to keep doing it and more of it. Right? But it also shows what type of time that these people are on. Now, these are the real bullies over here. You got people from third world countries, and I guess they're nose blind because they don't smell their own must, and they're coming over here calling us dirty and talking about what culture we don't have and everything. This is the type of time that they're on. So yeah, we are completely in the right. We got the proof of it. They have no proof. So I think that we don't need to go off of these people's words at all. Thank you.
You're welcome. Make it make sense. We saw it. Make it make sense. Did you find the name of the live, or you didn't even look for it?
Hold on. Let me go look for it, and I'll send it to y'all. Hey, did you?
Send it to Simon. Simon wants it.
I don't know if I can send it to Simon because I don't know if we friends.
I want the name of the live too.
Hold on, let me go get it. And I'll be right back.
Thank you.
And
No
two,
problem.
before I go, they also were saying how she used this word is I can't pronounce it. It's VYE. What she used on that platform too. She literally called us. This is in another live I heard in another Caribbean space the other night. She basically just called us trash, rubbish, no good for nothing. I never heard of this word VYE.
Is it Haitian Creole or?
Yeah, it's Haitian Creole.
Oh, I said I don't know nothing about
And see,
that.
I ain't even never heard of Haitian Creole. That's another thing. I know some Haitian. They just said it's French. So when do they
Go to
start calling
Florida.
themselves? When they start
It's
calling
down
themselves? Huh? I'm sorry.
If it's deep in Florida. They love speaking in their little languages.
I know, but I never heard of. See, I know some Haitian people I work with. They always said it was just French. They just speak in French. So when did it come with Creole? I
So
never
I
heard
just
it.
What did they tell you that the
I
word
just
meant?
looked VYE up, and it says that it means inferior, worn out, shabby.
Yeah,
and,
it was very derogatory towards us.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So let me go find this space, and I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mama Ani. Good morning, Manola. Simon, go ahead. I know you ready to talk.
I'm just. I don't. May I go? I don't want to cut the line. I don't know if
and then
Basic was
Black
here before
American
me.
can go afterward. Y'all gotta catch the replay. I did a really pretty dope Black History spotlight. David Ruggles was Underground Railroad conductor. He was an abolitionist, and he was one of the most hated abolitionists in New York. Okay, he was born in Connecticut. His service was in New York, and slave catcher said and that I guess they take their head off or something, right? Then I went to Granville T. Woods. We learned about Elijah McCoy. It was pretty dope. The 1741 New York conspiracy theory, when they said that the enslaved were starting fires. So they took them to trial. Some were unalived via strange fruiting. Others were, what was it, Basic? Were they burnt alive? They tried to make it sound like the ancestors were weak, but they did say that they were using setting fires as a form of resistance to the conditions that they were enslaved under in New York. So me and Basic said, yeah, there was probably some violence on our ancestors' part towards them. Go ahead, Basic.
And what I was saying is, I believe throughout our entire history, you know, there's always been revolts and rebellions. So I believe that they try to basically make it seem like we were just docile people in the way that they narrate the story. They try to act like we just laid there and took it, which doesn't line up with certain other aspects of our history.
Thank you. Go ahead, Simon.
Nah, Black American was before me. She could go. I don't want to cut the line. But if she spoke, I'm just, I don't know if she spoke already.
Black American is a man. He.
Oh, my bad. I thought, wait, just the same person? Oh, my bad. But yeah, I didn't know.
Make it make sense. Went to go get the
I send it to you and Mr. Ether. It's in there now, but. So they're in there now, and this one lady, I just heard this lady say, "Oh, do you hear? Have y'all been to the FBA side that they be talking about Haitians all the time?" No, we don't. We only talk about y'all when y'all do bull crap. So they're in there now. So
send me that live too, Ether. Send that over to me.
I send it to you, Simon.
Okay.
Now I'm about to talk about him.
Yeah, I just had to tell a Haitian earlier. You out of your damn habitat, all right? He was trying to come on camera and all this. I said, bro, you're out of your Haitian habitat. You ever seen a Haitian in their natural habitat? Bro, you in a Black American habitat, you feel me? That's why your face is washed. But yeah, when it comes down to these, they're making excuses. We don't think about them, and Ether is correct. Ether is correct that it was other Caribbeans that was bullying Haitians, and
Facts.
I know this for a fact because like I got Caribbean folks around me, right, and they'll tell me, like they already
I'll
told me
be
one
back.
time, like they got a friend that's half Jamaican, half something, and half Trinidadian, but the other half is Haitian, right? And they always that person always makes it a thing to be like, nah, I'm more Trinidadian. I'm more of my Trinidadians. The Haitians are, they call them the roach of the Caribbeans. Like nobody wants to be them or be around them or give them any type of play. So yeah, it would be the Jamaicans that will bully them more because Haitians were coming to the United States and pretending like they was Jamaicans, like trying to put on Jamaican accents and stuff like that, when really they was Haitians. So Haitians were the ones, Jamaicans were the ones bullying them, but Black Americans were around, laughing and shit. But the main agitator were just their fellow Caribbean people, and that's on the female and the male side. It was them. It wasn't even us like that. So I land.
No problem. Can you impart some, or a gem, a piece of wisdom, or some wisdom of the elders, specifically yours? What is one thing, one phrase, or anything you would like to say that your elder imparted on you that you would like to impart on us this Black American History Month?
I'm gonna go with, as I grew, this phrase as in delineation, it really just started to hit a lot harder. We're not free until the last one free. And I think before, when I used to implement that phrase, I was thinking about everybody. I was thinking about all melanated people. But now when I apply it really to just my lineage, it hit a lot stronger because I see that we all actually do operate on that, we're not free until the last one. And that's where delineation is moving in sequence with that actual phrase, because we are setting each other free mentally, education, from red pill, pink pill, and from this idea that we are a cultureless people where everybody gets to run their mouth. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna leave the room with, yeah, we're not free to the Black Americans. We're not free to the last Black American free, right? And we standing on that in all aspects of our ethnicity growth. I'll end with that.
You found she sent you the live. They sent you the live.
Yeah. She said she sent it to me, so I'm about to actually go check it out.
I know. Go ahead. Don't make no speeches or excuses, man. Just go ahead. Knock them out. Okay? Knock them out. He out too. The Black American House, your auntie cup. Are you dropping?
I'm sorry, I've been so busy. I've been
It's
because even before you brought me up here, it's been so much in my own personal life going on. But
good morning, Chris. Thank you, Nola.
I didn't even formally say good morning because all of the other nonsense, like that girl talking about she gonna put a of I forgot, a boom boom
Hmm.
to us when
Yeah.
she needed boom boom her own island and restarted because it's a
Yeah,
hot
she's from
mess.
Sierra Leone, I think. That's Africa. You know if those places are like islands over there? I don't know. I just know it's a continent.
Oh, I thought she was from the Caribbean. Okay. Mm.
No, the one who said dirty black American is Haitian. The one who said that she wants to strap a boom to herself and blow us all up is from Sierra Leone, if not mistaken.
Hmm. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that for me.
No problem.
So she would be the second African that I can think of recently that made that type of threat, because there was one that actually got arrested. I think he was Kenyan because he was planning like a 9/11 style um, attack on Black Americans in Atlanta.
Hold on. Where in Atlanta?
I don't know. I just know that they said he was his plan was to take out like one of Atlanta's largest buildings.
Whoa. Oh my God.
And this
I
was
just know
about
this.
maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months at the longest ago.
I know it's so much craziness that happens in this state. Uh, and it's so many people from around the world that have been coming here with the craziness, and they just crazy YT people and they shenanigans. And then that right there is just like icing on the cake.
Hmm.
No,
But
I don't know about that. I haven't heard anything about somebody planning something in NYC. The Kenyan that I'm talking about, that was definitely Atlanta.
Rich Rising, Vic. So what it is, Nola, is the one who said dirty black American was in New York at the podcast. I think they're based in Brooklyn, I was told. The incident that happened in ATL where, he was planning to do some other stuff, that was the Kenyan, I believe you said, right, Basic? Yeah, so there's been a few instances of the melanated immigrants heightening their I'm gonna say form of hatred towards us, right? It's like that escalating. I think the one in New York where she said dirty black American was looking for hype. Hey Vic, um she was looking for a viral moment. She was looking for a reason to say what she wanted to say without a black American woman in the room to accurately check her. Because I noticed she did that around men. I didn't see no woman in there. But then again, I only watched the highlights. I didn't sit down for the whole interview. Nola says, and Vic says, what's happening, family? Um, Y'all be sure to follow. Is it My Black Universe? Vic, he has a YouTube page. It's pretty good. Okay, so be sure to go over there and follow him, y'all. He is FBA and identifies as such. Nola says that she just saw it a Bank of America Plaza skyscraper in ATL. You're welcome, Vic. What happened, Simon? They didn't let you up? They saw you coming? He just peeked in the room. He's not still there. Um,
whew,
so what do you think about the Haitian who said dirty black Americans?
that girl can just go back to her island. I'm kind of happy I didn't set foot in Brooklyn when I was at last up there because between Yvette Clark and her shenanigans that you were telling me about, and then that happening, it's good I stayed in just in Manhattan and was. I probably would have caught a case out there.
I want to be a smart criminal, and well, not a criminal. I want to be a smart person that uses the law, and the only court case or any type of hearing I want to see is them reparations. Like, cut that check.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I need that too.
Yeah, it's really rough. For the longest time, I'm literally not really tapped into my city that people would be like, "Yes, this isn't the 1990s." It's like, I don't know, I might have had a couple of years slumber while being awake, right? Because now Jamaican restaurants are selling soul food after saying our food was slave food. But to me, they're losing a bit of their culture, right? And the level of disrespect that I see on these guys, I said, what are y'all doing? Y'all don't act like that in real life. But then I went to Facebook, and I do have a presence there, but that's just like to promote my work and stuff, maybe tap in with the family that's still over there. But I don't really be on the trains. Like, my kids won't let me take the train, so they make sure if I'm not driving, I got my Lyft money, right? Because I'm always fighting. And then, not fighting so much, but I'm telling everybody, I don't care if you white here or not, get away from me. Like, I know it's a crowded train, but hold your bag to your person so don't bump me, right?
Especially rush hour.
Exactly. And you know what it is? It's after it bumps my leg so many times, right? Right. So anyway, I go and I said, let me decide to scroll. All the fight videos are over there from wherever, from whatever reality show and everything. I ain't even following these pages. They're all on my algorithm if I scroll. But I see the New York train system. Them people are running them up. And I was like, what is going on in New York with these youth, right? Or the younger generation. So now it makes sense why my son will come home from work and he just heated. Usually we be like school kids outside. We ain't going outside with the school kids. But I think this is an everyday occurrence with these with incidents on the train, meaning just the rowdiness, not so much the violence, but the rowdiness. Hi, Black History Month. Hi, Miss Miles.
How you doing, love y'all? I got a good story for y'all, right? In honor of Black History Month. So, I think I've told multiple
Wait, is
people.
this Miss Miles from New York?
Yeah, it's me. Me, BX.
Okay, how you doing?
So, I got a nice story for you, BX. So,
okay,
you know, I do my own nails. I do my own hair. But there was an event that I had to go to today in Harlem. My mom was like, can I get your nails done? I was like, I usually do my own nails. I got a whole nail salon in my crib. Now, let me tell y'all, I put that out there first, right? I don't like going to Asian nail salons because I hate the way that they treat us, right? So she's like, can you come with me? I'm like, all right, I'll do it. So I go, I sit there. Now, I'm telling them, honestly, they like eyebrows. I'm like, nah, I do my own. Nails? Oh, your nail beds are so cute. I said, yeah, because I usually do my own, but my mom wants to treat me today, so I'm here with her, right? So she's like, okay. So now she's treating me kind. On the side of me, the other man, Asian man, is literally being rude and nasty to the Black woman who he is serving, okay? He's acting like everything that she's an older Black woman. Everything that she asks for is like way too much, and he's trying to look at me for validation, and I keep rolling my goddamn eyes. Now I start a conversation with her to kind of like pivot what's going on. So we start chopping it up and talking, and then out of nowhere it comes to a conversation between the person who was doing my nails and the person who was doing her nails, and was like, oh yeah, because she's a troublemaker, basically talking about the older woman. I said, what makes her a troublemaker? And I said it just like this. I said, she's a customer. Isn't the customer always right? Oh no, we don't believe that here. I said, well, what do you believe if you're supposed to get a tip after this? Oh, you think we care about tip? I said, well, great, because I wouldn't tip you, but let's take the tip off the counter. Your parents didn't teach you about kindness, respect for others, and respecting your damn elders? When I said, she was like, calm down, calm down. I was like, stop telling me calm down, because I'm not even hyped. You need to learn the manners. And this is the wrong time in the day and age for you to be acting the damn way that you are. When I say I left out of there, that older woman said, ma'am, I'm so happy you was there today. I said, ma'am, I usually don't come into these type of places, but it was my honor because I was about to snatch her ass from the other side of that goddamn chair. That was
Send
my
her
story.
back to China.
You hear me?
Thank you. Yes.
Do you hear me? I was like,
yes.
I usually say no all the time, but by the grace of God, I was able to sit next to a woman who I knew she wanted to say more, but I had the energy to do it for her.
Right. She needs to find a different one, even if she don't go and I hate to really say this, but maybe she just don't have it in her area, like a black nail salon. But don't go to the ones that's gonna do that. But then I don't know.
You can't stop them.
Apply
Yes, I be trying. I be like, why can't we do like nails at my house? I got the full kit, like literally. I got the acrylic, the gel, the UV light. I got the shavers. But you know,
Not the
it's
UV
hard to
light.
break them out of their own habits. But you know, I won't be going back. I don't do that shit. I'd rather stay at home and have a girl day to myself.
Right. You better make some money off for that, shoot.
Yeah, listen, I do, and then me and my friends, we kind of like swap. I got a homegirl who do hair, so I do her nails, she do my hair. I be trying to work with like the Dr. Claude Anderson kind of ways of life of bartering between each other. You feel me? If I could save my money and you can help me with one thing, heck, we'll play back.
No problem.
Welcome
I'm
to
looking for a
T-Mobile.
Black American nail tech, but I don't want to commit to traveling right now. And she may not want everybody in her home. Maybe if she travel, you could come here and just don't tell nobody where I live. Now, that'd be pretty cool. Hi, Toyota.
Good morning, family. How everybody doing?
Hey.
I'm sorry about earlier. I only could pop in for a second. Now I'm back. I don't know too much the topic of discussion, but I do think we should practice Dr. Claude Anderson's about bartering between us because
brother.
because I do plumbing. And so, like, I was able to do the plumbing of, like, my neighbor, and she sent her son to mow my lawn. So, like, is that little shit like that between us would help. And I think, yeah, we do have to practice Dr. Claude Anderson's, like, powernomics between us. So, yeah.
Thank you for the gift. Of course. So the topic of discussion is we learned about some really cool Black American history. The time wasn't cool, but our ancestors really put in the work, right? So we learned about David Ruggles. He's Connecticut born, Black American, but he did service in New York during the Underground Railroad, being a conductor. And he was one of the most hated ones that a slave catcher said because he's the leader and he just knows that David was the leader, he wants to take David's head off. Was that my little brother? Can you mute for 1 second? He wanted to take David Ruggles' head off. They do have his house as a museum on Lispinard Street in New York. Right? And so he did some really cool things. He was an author, a journalist, and he was the most feared abolitionist there was during that time. We also learned about Granville Woods, and he was very instrumental in the early New York City train. The early New York City trains, right? So the year 1904, I see that in my prompt there. You see a New York City train, because I'm trying to destroy the narrative of Tetherville. You know, Black American and Lord misbehavior. I could be running in their rooms, just jumping on the panels, and I look over it, and they got New York and Tetherville. So I'm during this Black History Month, and I will continue my spotlights. I'm trying to find instrumental Black Americans throughout history that were very instrumental in all areas of New York life, meaning from the foundation to our civil rights activism to our musical geniuses, the whole culture. We talked about the 1741 slave conspiracy when many were taken to court because our ancestors were accused of setting fires as a form of resistance. They don't really have it documented, because they try to make it seem like our ancestors just took their punishment, meaning unaliving. And so we was like, well, the fires were their resistance to the conditions they were under. We know they put up a fight, right? So they try to water down our history that way. And so we learned about Andrew Jackson. He patented several rail car couplers, which was innovations to connect automatically, significantly reducing fatal accidents for workers who previously had to stand between cars to link them. So we learned about him, Granville T. Woods. Um, who else? Oh, Elijah McCoy, the real McCoy. So we talked about him earlier. And then I have three pretty cool, at least to me, topics. The first one was wisdom of the elders, meaning what did your elder impart on you that you would like to impart on us during this Black History Month segment. And then we have, I asked, what do you feel about the dirty Black American, that term by the Haitian? What she did. Thank you for the gifts, millionaire. And then if anybody has an update on the African boomer girl, you know, the one that wanted to strap the boom boom on her back and blow us all up. If y'all have any updates. So that's where we at with it, Dayota. And if you want to hear it all, you got to just go to my YouTube channel because I upload my lives there.
What's the YouTube channel called?
I put it in your inbox because I don't want these mongrels over there bothering me. I like safe spaces. I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
Yeah, send it to the.
I will. Yeah. So would you like me to read over any of the Black history that we went through, or would you just like to answer the topics?
Because I see other
I
people.
will, millionaire.
So I'm glad that you did give me a quick. I don't know if anybody else was paying attention, but I was paying attention. So I say for what have my elders impart on me that I want to impart on everybody else.
Thank
I
you.
don't know because y'all. I'm not throwing shade, but y'all all like kind of older than me. My parents are dead, so it's like I don't think they would have taught me nothing that y'all don't already know. So I like, so I'm gonna just go that like something like very impactful that y'all wouldn't know. Nah, y'all already know it. Y'all Black. I ain't got to do that with y'all. And then the second thing about what do I have like? No, could you ask me that I want a quick a more in-depth rundown? And like I said, there's other people on the panel, so I don't know. And then I don't got no information about the boom boom girl. I hope they just deport her.
Good morning, Keita.
I just
Yeah,
hope
I
they.
want her deported too, but I hear she might have been born here. So you want to know more about the Haitian lady that said dirty Black American? You didn't hear about it, or you just don't want to hear about it? What was that?
Oh, no, I already know who that is. Because I know I kind of follow them boys because the host is Black American, but I don't too much follow them. I did see where they brought Tariq up on their show. And I do know they interact with kind of diaspora, our so-called diasporas that I guess we have. But as far as like, cause like I don't really trust the show in the sense that they'll keep it fully like lineage because like when I was looking at the earlier part of the show, I guess before they got more into delineation, they would have they wouldn't really give any kind of backlash or they would allow like the Jamaican people or the Jamaican men more specifically to speak as if they are Black, and I wish they wouldn't do that. Like in case anybody didn't know like anything about the show, like it's called the Daily Wrap Up Crew. So like yeah, like I say if you interested, go check them boys out. I will say the host is Black American, like the one who kind of mainly runs the show. He is Black American. But as far as like kind of like more like lineage check, they don't really kind of do that. But yeah, I don't. I heard what you said, Auntie, but they filthy Haitians. So like is that anything to be expected? They already have these preconceived notions about us. Um, filth mud cookie babies. Like what do they really have to? They're in our homeland talking shit. Like it's weird.
See, that's the thing I noticed about them too, as well. When I used to go to the DR, like I say, a couple of them was cool, but they really wasn't cool. And then they cool when they get money. Like it's one brother, one Haitian dude I know. He was cool while I was in his country in the DR. He made it to New York. Ain't nobody heard from him. And that's that. Um, I don't care. I don't mess with y'all. And you know what? It's fine by me because he doesn't want to lose his little work visa, whatever he got, school visa, whatever he's doing. So, because they tell him, I've met people that been deported, and asking me, can I help it? This guy I met, cool guy in his country, and he was asking, can I help his son get back to the Americas? I'm looking like, well, what did he get deported for? He was out here doing some illegal stuff, got arrested, and then got put out. But that's the whole thing. When they get over here, they roll with their group and they group only. They stay. That's why you can never really see them out there protesting or doing anything to get their agenda going or whatever. The Dems will give them just spoon feed them and get them a little bit, and they cool with that. Us, we want the whole pie. I don't want a slice of the pie. I want the whole pie. And how many of them you got back there? That's us. And they can't move like that because they scared of getting deported. Once you get Americanized, you ain't trying to go back to that third world. I know this. And then especially if you didn't shoot back, not shoot back, you didn't kick back money to the country. You might have shot grandma and mom some money a little bit, but you're supposed to be kicked back in enough where the neighborhood could be all right. Because I've met a whole Haitian family. It's one water faucet in the yard, and it's like 40 people live in this little compound. And everybody got to get water out of this. This is where they get water to wash their tail. This is where they get water to drinking water. This is the water where they get cooking for cooking. I've seen it, and I was like, damn, this is effed up. But it's a way of life. I've even seen Haitian family. Matter of fact, we were doing at the time we were doing dinner. And this particular house we were at, excuse me, it's like they had took over a whole abandoned building. I'm talking about ain't no windows in there, none of that. So I'm sitting on the porch, smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer, and I just see a light, like a fire. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I start seeing people. So out of the strength of me and my couple of brothers that I was with, I said, man, I go into the house that we were at the particular time. I say, man, how much money y'all got on y'all? I think I had maybe like $50. My other brother had maybe like $100. The other brother probably had $100. So we went outside and we called them outside like, yo, come on out. Cause we finna sit down and have a nice dinner. So we gave them $250. Feed your family. And it was a bunch of them. The whole, it's like a 2-flat building that was never finished being developed. I see the fire. I'm assuming they burning wood. I could see the pot a little bit. Looked like one of them old witches' pots. And the kids, I see kids. I see people walking in and out and all of this. And this is at nighttime. I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? So we gave them the $250. Here it is. We finna sit down and have a nice dinner. And the little money we gave them, what, $50? We make that in 1-2 hours. And at the time, when we were, when I was working, I'm doing $50 an hour. That wasn't nothing. What on top of overtime? If I can give you $50 to feed your family, that's cool. But that was in their country. Now, when they get over here, they get different. I've actually, I had a guy make me a flag and on the beach. Do you? I gave him, I gave him $100. He was only charging me 50 to make the flag, and it was a big one, about the size of a window. I gave him 100. Man, go ahead on, man. Have fun with it. You know what I mean? Do you know they put that man off the beach? He's not allowed to paint. And I've seen, and the brother did some beautiful paintings. I mean, he had all type of stuff. And whatever, like if you wanted him to paint something, all you had to do was just come with a picture and he'd paint it. If it's of you and your wife or you and the family. And he was matter of fact, right on with his painting. But for whatever reason, he made money, and I guess I don't know how they politics work over there, but for whatever reason, because I went back about 3 months after I was there, and because I wanted him to make some more paintings for me. I was gonna take a picture of my parents and let him paint that for me. But when I went back, the brother was gone. I was like, man, I said, what happened to him? Yeah, they put him off the beach. So I guess he didn't kick the DRs down. But that's how they get down over there, man. But once they get over here, everybody, even the Arabs, once they get over here, that Muslim stuff go out the window. They be over here using cocaine. They be over here fornicating with women. They be getting it in with the wine. They all that shit go out the window. And that's all of them. And I ain't talking about just a certain group. That's any foreigner. Seen it with my own
Say
eyes.
good morning to Nikki the God and to Tony Starks, to 713 Phenom. I'm sorry, little brother, we just had this talk. I said, oh God, you always get vulgar after a while. I don't need to know about them people fornication habits. I ain't fornicating with them.
No, I'm talking about when they get here. How like if you go to their country, they your best friend. But when they get here, they don't know. They act like they ain't never met you. That's all I was saying, sis.
Okay. Are you talking about the women specifically or the men?
Both of them.
Okay. Did
Both
you
of
have
them.
the same question? Make it make sense?
I uh I was just gonna say, I hear some people talking about, well, I'm just gonna say I was in a space and there's a couple of black Americans got up on the space talking about how we need to have unity with these people and come together. And I think that's false. I think we need to stop saying that. We need to fix our own unity first here. We got a lot of broken things too. We still strong, but we still got a lot of broken things we need to work on. We don't need to unify with no other culture. They need to go home and unify with themselves. That's their problem. They're able to hide up under our umbrella. And I hate, HATE, when our people get up on stages and spew that stupid stuff. It's stupid. You can't expect somebody to do something when they can't do it in their own homeland. They like the easy route. And we're the easy route for them. Our people have been through to HELL and back just for us, just for us. And to hear our people talking about our people fought for them to be over here, I can't stand to hear that too. That's nonsense. Our ancestors didn't fight for people they didn't know. They didn't fight for other people they didn't know. They fought for people just to be treated fairly. That was across the board. I hate when HAT when our people say our people gave up their lives for people they don't know. That's not true. They gave up their lives for their generation. Our people did that for us, not them. It's just for people to have a regular life, have human decency, and it just BX. That just get on my nerves.
Yeah,
These
and
people do. Hmm? I'm
I
sorry.
did read that Lyndon B. Johnson, slipped that part in when with the
No, and
civil
people don't
rights.
talk about that. He
Yeah,
slipped that
sometimes
in.
I just let them go because they be tearing them people ass up. So I just, but you're right. we should be a little bit more accurate. I'm gonna have to have the source when I say it though, because that could
Please,
cause a
because
tussle.
I don't like coming up on stages a lot, but that just makes my ass want to dip a
But
snuff.
you don't want to be the bad guy for once. Why BX always got to be the bad guy?
Because you
No,
look,
you right.
you speak very very well, and
Thank you.
I can get a little when I'm not at work, my professionalism out the door. I'm East Texas all the way, baby. I don't care.
Uh-oh.
I don't
Okay.
care, and I'm gonna put my foot on your neck. But
I hear you.
but this stuff, because like I said, I have grandkids. I have grandkids. I'm worried about their future. I can't worry about these other people's future.
Right.
I mean, because we keep
Right.
allowing these people coming over here. What they are doing now, they are exploding our economy. They are exploding our resources. They're making it scarce. They're making it high. I don't want to hear that stuff about them coming over here for a better life. Who problem is that? Not ours.
Correct, sis. Oh,
One
BX,
moment.
get
Let me
ready,
bring you.
sis. It's coming to you.
Right.
It's
What is
snowing
it?
right here now, right now. So it's coming.
Yeah, we getting a blizzard. And my child starts a new job tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow.
Wow.
I don't know if they're gonna tell him, stay home, try Tuesday. But I kind of want to read Nola's comments and some of the comments from the chat. So no, Nola, right? One of our favorite Creoles. She says they don't want to build back home. They don't even like the people they left behind. Um, and then she goes on to say, then Arabs have gambling problems too. She got about to tell them all, tell it all, tell all their secrets. Nikki says, good morning. Nola says, the men be straight hoes. And then she says, the Arabs. I guess she's talking about the Arab men. Then 713 Phenom. Shout out to him. We be talking about the ancestors from Virginia because my mother has roots in Virginia. So then he says that unity fallacy is a gaslighting tactic used against us, only us. And Nola goes on to say, at some point we had to acknowledge that tensions exist between various nationalities. And then 713 Phenom goes on to say, yep, they use our civil rights to piggyback other people onto our backs. They're still doing it. Let me see. Good morning, Chief. I think he's peeking in the window. TikTok be snitching when you be trying to look in the rooms. They put your picture right there, right up in the invite box, the free box. And then Nola says, I don't even let it get to me. Are you talking about the tensions between us and those diasporans? I'm not calling us diasporans, but we got to call them something other than black. And I'm getting tired of saying Afro-descendant. I'm going to let them know. And yeah, okay, I'm going to let them know. They not like us, right? So I call them diasporan. Good morning, Bronx Zoo. How are you? Nikki the God says, right. Nola says yes. So you do know, did y'all know the Caribbean has their own diaspora? And that the Puerto Ricans delineated from the Hispanics? Like they doing all these things. And Yvette Clarke secured a delineation bill for the Caribbean in 2010. And she authored the damn bill, right? But when the U.S. freedmen, and that's what they're calling us, /ADOS, right? When you read, if you do pull up a Google search. So I compared her advocacy for the Caribbean and the Haitians to her advocacy for us. She authored the Caribbean Count Bill because she wanted her Caribbean people to be visible within the black racial group. When the U.S. freedmen, right, I don't identify as ADOS, I don't want to step on nobody's toes, I understand what it means, but I'm foundational Black American. So since the resource says U.S. freedmen, I'm just making a disclaimer here. She has gone totally silent on their demands or requests, to have us have our own box where we'll be counted like her people are being counted. And in her bill, it also mentions funding so that her people could be accurately counted and funding where they need it. She's also gotten into legislation something for trafficking firearms to counteract it from the Caribbean, I guess, to here or wherever, right? And it says no less than 97.5 million. Could have been billion, yeah. But I got a whole video series on my page. You just got to kind of dig through my posts. And then my uploads, not my retweets. What else did she get? She is getting funding and is stating that she wants to, the plan is to economically stimulate Haiti. Not the Haitians that are here, because she's doing a lot for them too, right? She got the TPS for them, and she got the temporary, she got the stay. So Trump is battling out in court. So if you're wondering why New York still don't look like it has an ICE presence that much regarding the Haitians, Yvette Clark secured that for them. So you do see that even though I don't have all of what she did for them, I can attach some funding, and I could tell you that she's getting it specifically for the Caribbean. She also authored the bill that really counts, which is a delineation bill for them. And she's signing on a delineation bill for us. Delineation, disaggregation for us, but she got it for her people. Let me tell you what she is said to champion for us. It's performative, it's symbolic. You're from Texas. Some Texans, I was horrified about 2 years ago. I was on YouTube, and in the chat, I was modding over there. And you get familiar with the chat, and some Texans were saying, we don't want nobody outside of Texas celebrating Juneteenth. And I was like, well, why not? We're of the lineage. It's like, no, it's just for us, just for us. I could understand that, right? Because why is corporations benefiting? So if we're celebrating Juneteenth and it's a federal holiday, who's going to make the most money selling us our utensils, supplies, food, and stuff? The supermarkets, Walmart, Target, Costco, wherever we go. But I never thought the Caribbean would appropriate our history. Nobody bothers them at the parade. Or we go there and mind that we know we Black American, they're Caribbean, and we're going to just partake in their history. So, and this is not to disparage Juneteenth, because I understand we've been celebrating it for a while, and Texas has been celebrating it since
All my life.
1866. Right. She was the one who made the federal push for the holiday, so that could be federal, right? Now, Black Americans for a while been saying, we don't want no more statues, we don't want no more holidays, we want tangible, something that we could see, because everybody is benefiting from the holidays, right? I did want Malcolm X's birthday to be a holiday. I gotta tell you, just to, be in white people face, like, huh, by any means necessary, you know what I'm saying? Love them. But listen, and she also championed the Crown Act. These things aren't specifically for us. Once it goes, it's for us, but it gets commercialized. Juneteenth got commercialized and corporatized. And then the Crown Act, have you seen Caribbeans here? They got hair texture issues. They wear, they wear natural hair and stuff. So they benefit from that too. And then I think she was championing a coin for Harriet Tubman. So I just started asking everybody, what would Harriet want? Would she want to be on a coin or a piece of currency? Or would she want her people to get reparations and be restored? Everything that was stolen from us, restored, and then some. Plus some anti-hate crime bills for us. What would our leaders want? Our heroines want. Our freedom fighters want. Are we not tired of statues and holidays and stuff? I'll be celebrating in my house. I don't know that. I hear there's a secret custom that y'all have in Texas for the ancestors. I was up here in the north venerating them my own way, making dinner. And just sitting there eating and talking at my altar. You know what I'm saying? I was honoring my ancestors. I'm still honoring them. But everybody else now, and in New York, they're really, 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 really disrespectful. To the point that Freedmen's Nation had to step in with legal pamphlets, right? And it's not just New York, but New York was the loudest because they got the power of media. And instead of spotlighting foundational Black Americans, I was watching Caribbeans tell us their migration pattern. That damn News 12. And even during Black History Month, I'm watching the damn news and I'm like, why they all Latinos in that class during February? And ain't no presentation on a Black American. I had to check the calendar, y'all. So what I'm trying to say is that for the most part, we are compassionate. We felt that people of a certain hue, melanated like us, we felt they were subjugated like us, but they came in through the gate and locked us out of home ownership in New York, right? That holiday on Labor Day, that Labor Day is because of A. Philip Randolph and the Pullman Porters, am I correct? But I gotta say this. The West Indian who went and requested a parade started out in her basement, and then it grew to be on Labor Day. But my thing is, she did have people that helped her, because at first they didn't want to give it to her, or she came to our people and asked her. To me, I'm gonna say that she stole the day and they stole the day, because now, instead of looking to see how fun it was, I'm looking to see if anybody got pew-pewed or poked up. And so now I'm about to argue, they don't even need that damn parade. They don't teach no history there. I'm just really surprised at the disrespect that we were given over Juneteenth. They were making money off of merch with the parties and stuff. Now, I want to say they were making money, but I do know Freedmen's Nation reached out to them before the party happened. Some gave resistance. And then y'all would really have to ask like Arthur Watkins, because he was in charge of that, but I remember reposting that. So that's the problem with some of these immigrants in places like New York. We see Karen Bass in Cali. So what I want to tell y'all is, the Yvette Clarke will sit in all Jamaican attire, colors, and have Jamaica with one Jamaican flag, one American flag, and shout out Happy Independence Day to Jamaica. So I started getting on her post like, shouldn't you be in Jamaica celebrating independence over there? You shouldn't be celebrating nothing if you over here displacing my people. And then Nola says, in New York, she used to live here for like 10 years, so now she an expert. She told me New York smelled like plantains. I said, because you was in Brooklyn, girl.
Hey,
And she said,
BX.
in New York. Huh?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, because Nola is from New Orleans and she migrated here to New York, okay? And she used to live here for 10 years, so she just be telling me her experience, but it's always something like, New York smelled like plantains when I got there, and the people all look funny because I was like, damn, Nola, no, they did. You in Brooklyn. And Brooklyn is very gentrified, certain parts with Caribbean, so that's what the inside joke is. And she says, in New York, Labor Day now feels more tied to the Caribbean Carnival than to its original meaning. Yes. And Nola says, it did be, where you was at? Flatbush? Go ahead, make it make sense.
I'm gonna say, Nola, come up. Come up and talk.
Oh,
No,
you was in East New York? Oh, girl, I'm about to get to Googling because my mother's family, my aunt goes around singing "When the East is in the House." Oh my God, that's a rap song, and he's paying homage to where he, where he was raised, and that's East New York. The demographics could have changed, but before it wasn't primarily Caribbean. Go ahead, make it make sense.
I was gonna say, aren't we still at the? We're still at the. We're still at the level of, we are truly at the level of being no taxation without representation. Now, if you go back and read that bill of I think it was 1776, no taxation without representation. It was about them being taxed and not being able to vote. Okay, so we're being taxed, but we can vote, but we have no representation. The representation is showing, our representation is being shown on certain groups, not on Black Americans. And we have every right to sue these people for this stuff, for this harm. And on top of that, We have
Good morning,
I don't
Jerika.
say what again?
I'm saying good morning to Jerika. She just entered the chat.
Oh shit. I lost my train of thought. Give me a minute. Go ahead, BX.
I'm sorry. So we're
No,
at
no,
the
no.
point we could sue them for taxation without
Yeah.
representation.
We're at that point. Look at what Brandon Johnson did. Look what Brandon Johnson just did. He just pushed all the taxes on a certain part of on a certain part of Black Americans.
Make it make sense. You in Chicago? Okay. Yeah, they did. My tax bill just went up.
That's illegal. How are you being represented with a melanated face? He's not taking care. That's not what y'all paying for. That is seriously no taxation without representation in a different way.
That's why Danielle C. Chicago Flips Red. That's why they be on his ass.
And everybody
They
keeps
didn't.
saying that
They
guy's a Black American. That dude is not black. That dude is Haitian.
yeah, yeah. And he's from the suburbs called Elgin, Illinois. Reason I know, because that's how he came. He was a county commission school teacher, then became county commissioner, and then the head of the DNC in Chicago, which is Tony Pretwinkle, he said he wanted it to run. They gave him the nod. Everybody got behind him. That's exactly how he got in office. But Tony runs the DNC far as in Chicago, and she just bought her $1 million home.
Who
Bet you
is
her tax,
Tony?
huh? Tony Pretwinkle, the Cook County president.
Is she white tea? Is she
No,
black?
she's
Is
no,
she
she's a black lady.
Democrat?
She's a black lady. She was a school teacher in Hyde Park, and I think her husband left her for a Brazilian woman or something like that. But she
Y'all
won't.
asked for those. I gotta tell you.
Yeah, but she's a single lady and stuff like that. But she's an older woman. She was I think she might have. I'm pretty sure she retired from being a school teacher, which where she was I think she was a school teacher in Brownsville. That's where Obama lives at. The minister lives at.
I'm gonna drop
Jesse
BX. Thank you
lives
for
at.
letting me up.
No problem. Thank you for coming. Go ahead.
But yes, sis, I'll land right there. But Brandon is not us. He's like you say, he's a Haitian from Elgin, Illinois, which is a suburb maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. Um, and Elgin is full of I don't know. I had some family out there when I was married, but I don't have any more out there. But I know where it's at, and I know how to get there. But other than that, sis, that's pretty much it. And like say, he was trying to he was one thing about Chicago. We don't need a mayor. Chicago needs a boss because we're so
Okay.
segregated in the city. Basically, everybody eats. You know what I mean? Everybody eats, or just not, or it ain't gonna be one group of people starving and the other people are eating. But yeah, yep.
So Lon is in the comments. I'm not sure if she's still in the room. She says she got left for a Brazilian. And then 713 Phenom. Thank you, little brother.
Come on,
Um,
sis.
mentioned, thank you. 713 Phenom, when Make It Make Sense was talking about taxation without representation, he did comment this comment then. But y'all were talking, so I didn't want to interrupt y'all. He said, benign neglect. They've been able to get away with it under the guise of blackness. Those days are over. So listen, the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act would change the way that people are required to register just to vote, right? 76% of Black Americans are on board with the SAVE Act. Yvette Clarke is leading the charge, stating that it violates our civil rights. And she goes to talking about, remember, we couldn't vote if we didn't know how many soap bubbles there were and stuff. What's with this we, lady? You're a whole Jamaican. Your family's Jamaican. America, and shout out to Shadow Band. He does videos. Sometimes he comes up on different panels, but he pretty much is like a lone writer. He's really raw with his videos, right? He said, you know what? America is their liberator. Here, they have everything. They have freedom and they have access to wealth and opportunities that they'll never have in their own land. So they'll never fight against our government the way we would. The reason why we don't feel that we are liberated is because we're not. The government subjugate us, and we understand that while we're doing good, there's always better for us. We always go up, and I might be paraphrasing and add a little bit here, but he really laid the premise of this statement, right? We know that we can go higher. There's more for us than just what the immigrants are coming here siphoning from us. And if they just got out of our lane and out of our politics, everything would be fine. And they wouldn't be in the, I want to say kerfuffle, y'all. I don't know. It must be them European ancestors. You know, that's their word, I think. I don't even know if I used it correctly. I'm a little bit tired, so I probably start winding down. But yeah, on a serious note, he called to my attention that our government liberates them when they're here on this land, right? But our government doesn't liberate us. We have to fight for everything, and we get frustrated because we know we can do better. We don't just accept what they accepting. A car note, another mortgage, right? But if they got out of our way and stopped voting no for our repair, we'd be able to have things like houses with no mortgage. I'm up here thinking that as we are putting together proposal packages state by state, that those who make old taxes, because you know they railroad us and make sure that we pay them taxes. And if we don't, what they do? They send our black tails to prison, right? They forgive all taxes owed for foundational Black Americans. We shouldn't have been paying taxes in the first place. That could be a part of one of our reparations proposals. So, what else? I think that's it. So I'm going to impart some words of wisdom my granny told me. She told me, I'm going to impart some words. She told me to always look my best because I never know who I'm going to meet, even if I'm going to the store, okay? But in church one day, she said, listen, you are a leader. I never knew what that meant. I just didn't see myself as a leader. I always knew I could write, so I like to write out all my frustrations, and that's like a form of release. Some would call it journaling and stuff like that. Or sometimes I write creative stories and stuff like that. When I used to get in trouble, I used to write to my parents about how I was sorry and please take me off for punishment, right? But TikTok honestly has helped me find my voice. Because a lot of people is like, you know, they really know my life, like, you know, the highs, the lows, the traumas, the wins, the setbacks. And they was like, you've been through so much and you're still standing. You should like do motivational speaking and stuff. TikTok has helped me find my voice. But what I realized with TikTok and even cross-platforming to Twitter, the little bit of time that I was on there, that there is a time to lead and there's a time to play support. And some people have a hard time with that. A hard time. And so they don't like people who know how to play the lead and know how to play support. Like here, I may be, and I'm going to use Afroelite's head mod. At times, I may be his only mod, right? But when I go to YouTube, they already have a team and a unit. So I never went over there like I was this big, bad moderator, you know? And before I even started going over there, I was giving him a little bit of guidance. Look, you need more mods, you need this. Okay, the mods are doing a good job, I'll leave. But when I finally went over there and he was like, let me mod you. I never came in there just acting like I was big, bad, and bold. I let his longer, you know, the mods who have been there longer, they have a routine, they have their things they write in the comment. They block every, you know, people over there. I really, really block anybody over there unless I hear Afro Lee say, where the mods? There's really some trolls in here today. And I say, okay, oh shit, let me get to blocking. I let them take the lead. And I think that as we move further on within the lineage, we may bang or bump heads. We're all strong-willed people with our own way, our own experiences of doing things, right? And a lot of us like to debate. We like to take the reins, and we just like to look at our way as the right way, and no other way is right. Some of us don't want to compromise. But we have to move forward understanding there's a time to lead and a time to support. And there's a time to compromise. And that is my eldest words. And we always got to look our best when doing it, okay? Okay. And that's my eldest words. Blended with my experience and the way that I know she would understand once it's verbalized. And she would probably agree. Unless she just didn't like the person. My grandmother was funny. She had the gift of sight, right? So she would just go around to family members' house, knocking on their door, going in there, sitting down, telling them whatever she had to tell them, and she'd just leave, right? My grandmother was just like going over to people, telling them, now you know you shouldn't be doing that to that baby, right? Now you know you shouldn't be in that color, right? And her daughters had to tell her, Ma, you can't go over to everybody and just do that. And my grandmother was also a fighter, though, right? Because even though she was born in Harlem, she had ties to Alabama and North Carolina. So when she transitioned, my auntie told me about the time my grandmother beat the hell out of somebody in Harlem, and they had to fly her ass to Alabama. I said, Granny did that? Because Granny wouldn't let nobody hit me. So I see my grandmother as this, one of those dressed to the nines, always sharp wherever she went, and had a purse and always had her shoes and then always had the purse to match, really nice coats. A lot of people still remember her for the way that she dressed, right? And when they told me my grandmother had to beat somebody up and they had to send her to her grandmother in Alabama, I said, my granny did that? That's funny. So I'm going to take a word for it, because not only was she dressed sharp, and if you look at them pictures from the 1930s, early Harlem Renaissance era, you would see how fly our ancestors really were. We had fashion. So that's the way I see my grandmother, right? To know that my granny beat somebody up, yeah, I'm going to take her advice. I'm a leader, but I also know how to play support, y'all. And I think that's where the lineage has to come together. So I always say that there's a code, a code that the lineage follows, because the code is the leader. But we have to have a code here, a code of compromise, a code of when to play lead and when to play support. And I said compromise already. And I'm going to leave it there because I could go all day. Do you have any parting words for this live? Because I'm coming back live again, right? But not today. Little brother? He might have walked away from the phone. Thank you, everybody, for interacting, and thank you for the gifts and everything. I appreciate y'all. My room is private, and I'm still trying to get people off of my list because I never cleared my followers list before I went private. So every now and then I see people peeking in my room or peeking out my profile, reminding me that they are in my room and they ain't like us, right? Or, I'm sorry, I'm staying away from certain groups of the lineage because I ain't with the whole don't call yourself black thing. I ain't with that. I'm way past that, right? So I've been clearing a lot of people off. So you can't share my live because it's private. This is truly designed to be an FBA safe space. You could use Solar interchangeably with that, and you could use American Indians, our American Indians who get it, right? Who ain't Caribbean cosplaying or who else is cosplaying American? The Latinos now. There was a Nigerian that came on the panel and said he was half Nigerian and half, I think he said Cherokee or something else. And I was like, I had to come off my mic on that one. And Sister Oki from California is there. Some of y'all may know her. She's from Twitter. You know, because she identifies as indigenous, if not mistaken, and I beat her to the punch, but she was right there, like, oh, me and her was like, oh, come on. Now the Nigerians are saying they by ethnic. He was like the African sliding penguin, if y'all know who sliding penguin is. The Caribbean tether from Brooklyn, New York, that flies around here talking about he's Arawak and from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and all this other mess. So this safe space is designed to keep us safe from people like them. And I'm going to just say this. We know not all immigrants are tethers, but all tethers are immigrants on all of these apps. We are finding too many tethers than immigrants who, and I got to say this, want to put forth some action behind them calls to unity, and action looks like voting out one of their own, voting out Yvette Clarke, who's on the Caribbean Immigrant Caucus, the Haitian Immigrant Caucus, and she's in charge of the CBC, the Congressional Black Caucus. We don't have no representation. We're being taxed without representation, like Make It Make Sense has said, and as 713 Phenom has said too, we're suffering from benign neglect, and that those days are over because we're actively fighting that. And with that said, little brother, are you there? Because I'm going to shut it down. Okay. Love, peace, light, and reparations to my foundational Black Americans and anybody of the lineage who could identify as such. I love us for real. Peace.
Tales to modern schemes, unraveling truths and chasing dreams.